I've seen a bunch of Minecraft YouTubers and videos that utilize villagers in their own ways, but they don't really spend a lot of time and dedication to building and maintaining a whole entire village. So I decided to make this video because I don't see a lot of players do this. With the help of creative mode, I'm going to show you how I would ideally build a village. As with managing any village, you'll need a town hall to not only store stuff into, but to have a place where the villagers would see as a type of capital building on their land. This will come in handy when you decide to expand your village more and more outwards if you plan to turn it into a city one day in survival mode. As for building materials, it's up to you to decide how you want to build the villagers' homes, landmarks, etc. You could also go about recycling materials if you're building your village from a pre-existing one. We all know that mobs attack you. Common survival mode attack and defense. The most common mobs you'll find are zombies. I mention them specifically because they are the only mobs that go after villagers. So, how do you make sure that your villagers are safe? Build a wall around the village along with putting torches down at the village to avoid mobs from spawning in the village. You might be lucky if you're working with a pre-existing village since they will most likely have an iron golem already guarding the place. However, only a few of them spawn in when there's a certain amount of villagers and it will take a while for a bunch of golems to spawn in the world. So, walling up your village when there's no golems in it is vital in ensuring the safety of your villagers so that mobs can stay out, and your villagers will no longer be at risk of dying to them or becoming a zombified version of themselves. As you expand your village and have more villagers in them, over time, you'll have a bunch of golems spawn in, which will harden security in the village by a lot, literally. You have your town hall, and you have your walls set up. Now to build the first home for your villager that you are planning to move in. As I mentioned in the previous phase, you can use different materials or recycle from the existing village. All that's left after you build a new home for your villager is a bed and a door. Once that's been fulfilled, time to bring your first villager into their new home. And now, it's time to move your first villager in. But which one to bring in first? If you like to do it the hard way, bring a villager that isn't a farming villager. However, if you want your village to expand smoothly, start with a farming villager. They are the only ones that will help with raising the next generation of villagers, and in turn expand the village because they produce the crops to breed. Afterwards, it's a free-for-all with whatever villager you want to bring in and have them focus on certain occupations to benefit you in your survival world. Congratulations on managing your own village and essentially becoming the universal mayor of the village. Now it's time to think about the culture of the village. What type of buildings will it have? How many occupation types would you like your villagers to have? Where they sleep? Etc. Like with building in general, you can always change it. It's up to you to modernize the village, which can mean anything, such as building the village big enough to become a city, or dedicating an entire sector to librarians. The possibilities are endless. My point here is this. Make a village that you would love to visit every time for resources and other goods. Unless you plan to leave it to rot altogether, just know, it'll still be there when you need to head back to it someday. As you can see, the village that I built here in creative mode is essentially the same exact thing that I do normally in survival mode. I'm not the type to permanently keep the villagers in one place forever. I like for them to move freely like they do in pre-existing villages as you discover them during your survival world adventures. This is how I see villages being built rather than compressing the villagers into tight spots or in elevation so high that they can't move as freely as they would like. I've been building villages in Minecraft for a few years now, both in my vanilla world and in my single biome worlds. I like improving villagers for aesthetics, classic capitalism, and overall for the items that they sell exclusively. That is all, and that's it for this video. Goodbye.